Okay, just want to start off by, saying congratulations to Robert Mathis, obviously, on his Ring of Honor. Wow, well-deserved. Everybody around here knows that for sure. I couldn't help but see his comments about, not taking anything for granted, earning a seat at the table. When I read those comments, I was like, yeah, that's true about this guy. Yeah, I was here before as an assistant coach, got a chance to, watch it up close and live. And he's a unique player, a unique person. Really happy for Robert and what he's achieved and how he represents the Colts. So, honor well deserved. So, open it up from there.
What is it about? What do you see from Tampa's defense that is kind of unique to them and that kind of sticks out to you?
They aggressive, really good players, very good at stopping the run. They have the highest percentage, about 60% of heavy box, heaviest, as a percentage that's heaviest in the league. But yet they still have mixed in a bunch of zone coverage here and there. Just very good, very sound, tough defense.
About the way that Devin White is able to blitz and kind of vary the blitz looks he gives.
Yeah, he leads the league. He leads the NFL as far as inside backers are concerned, with hits and pressures on the quarterback. A rare combination of instincts and speed. Really good player. Just flies all over the field, aggressive. A lot of respect for Devin White for sure. That's probably inside those two linebackers, one of the better combos of two linebackers inside in the league.
Will Kari practice today?
We're still not today, but we're just still continue to evaluate him.
Frank, did their Super Bowl run last year, just as a fan of football, did it surprise you the way I think they were 7-5 at this point?
It didn't surprise me only because of the defense and the quarterback. Obviously they got great skill on offense as well. Todd Bowles, I've gone up against Todd Bowles a handful of times. I just think he's one of the best defensive coordinators that I've gone up against. And, so you got that combination there, and then you got, probably the greatest player ever playing quarterback for you and just still playing at a super high level. So, they got it going and believed, and it was fun to watch. Obviously a great accomplishment.
We've known that Jonathan Taylor's taken off the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months, but it really hit a crescendo on Sunday. Do you think teams are going to start to play you significantly different with him now that he's the league leader?
No, I really don't. I think teams will make slight adjustments and they'll emphasize certain things, and they maybe go from, X percentage of heavy box to X plus 10%. But most teams at this point in the season, are who they are. You want to play what you're good at. You make slight tweaks schematically. You emphasize certain things. I just think that's the way most teams do it.
Frank, I guess the league's all about adjusting week to week and all that. And you guys have shown, as much as you like to run the ball as your foundation, you've won games 260, 264. As a former quarterback, and can you imagine winning a game with 106 yards passing? Or does that just show the strength of everything else?
Yeah. Well, believe it or not, Chap, I actually didn't look this up, but I actually won a game as a starting quarterback with about 100 yards passing. And I think we had about 280 rushing. I'd have to go back and check. But I know you will, because you are very meticulous. It was a long time ago.
That was like prehistoric.
Prehistoric, yeah. No, Bills versus the Dolphins, I believe it was. But nonetheless, it's rare these days. It's just rare. But I did tell, we talked about this as a staff, that even though we only had 106 yards passing, I felt like, it was strange, I felt like Carson was in the zone. And early on, the one play he made to Pittman early on, he just really looked good. It was a great throw with pressure in his face and very poised and worked through the progression the right way. And I thought, man, he just feels like he's in the zone. And then when I watched the tape, like, he graded out super high. I mean, really played good football. So, but that's all we needed.
Frank, curious, 2 years ago you guys signed Phillip. How much did you guys look into Brady and vet that and debate that, considering he was also out there?
Yeah, I don't know how serious. I mean, I don't know how serious that ever really got. I mean, obviously, I love Philip and was very interested in Philip from the start. I'm not sure anyone thought that was ever really serious on either parties, but I've always thought that he's the best ever. I mean, he's incredible, an incredible player, and just as a former, I just marvel at his arm strength at 44 years old. That as much as anything, it just boggles my mind. So still playing at a high level, just obviously a ton of respect.
When you put his age, I mean, do you see 44? And I know he had to scramble even on Monday night. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it just seems like he is no different than he was at 34 or 24.
Yeah, you really don't see any difference. And I remember a couple of years ago, as you noted, Kevin, looking at his tape, that year when he was free, and like I said, not that it ever got to any point serious, but like the tape I looked at, I was like, man, must be the same guy. Hasn't lost any arm strength, still can do all the same things, and still the same great competitor.
There's only been 1 year where either you or Tom Brady hasn't played in the NFL since 1985. 1985.
His career a little bit more noteworthy.
As quarterback, when you have a running back as hot as Jonathan is right now, do you go into the week thinking there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to make plays?
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. Like this week, we want to go in, and every week we want to establish the run. Our identity is we want to run the ball, good play action pass game, and then be really good at situational football. So that's kind of who we wanted to be from the start. We got the offensive line to do that, the running back to do that, the skill guys to do it, the quarterback who's good at that kind of deal. You still have to adjust and adapt as games go on. They just play out differently. And you match up. What's interesting, it's always interesting to me how you just match up differently with other teams, where it's just, you can't explain it, but there's just some teams you match up really well with and other teams you struggle with. And it's hard to put a finger on why. What is it in the matchup or schematically or personnel matchup that makes it like that? That's one of the things you look at every week.
Frank, Rock Ya-Sin seems to be having a really nice year, and he's talked about how he's just gotten over the fear of getting beat. In your experience, is that just the natural progression for a third-year corner, or is there something with him and his demeanor and his day-to-day play that's changed?
Yeah, really happy for Rock because that you do feel that. You feel his confidence. You could feel it early on, but it's just continued to grow. And I would almost say to Rock that it's the same thing playing quarterback. You really have to believe so much that even after you throw that bad interception or have a bad game, that you just got to be able to line up and put the last play, the last game behind you. And I think Rock has developed really well like that. As you all know, there's few players in the league that work harder than Rock. He's a really gritty, tough competitor, works very hard at practice, so really making good progress.
Frank, did you share what you're going to do with Quentin? Is he going to be limited this week, or any updates?
He's not going to practice today, and then we're going to take it day to day, and know that he'll fight to. I know I said that last week, and then he ended practicing, so that was news to me. But
Maybe you should have checked with him before you.
I should have checked with him. And figures, and Quentin would do that, but it didn't look like he was going to. But he's just so tough, and he wants to be out there. I love and appreciate that about him. But I don't think he'll practice today, but then we'll just take it day by day for the rest of the week.
You guys practice tomorrow or just walk through?
It'll be just a walkthrough tomorrow.
You kind of talked about this in a roundabout way, but when you talk about the heavy boxes that you get from Tampa or teams like that, your offense has demonstrated it's pretty adaptable this year. You've won games in a lot of different fashions, or just attacked in a lot of different fashions. Is that the way you draw it up? Is that what I assume you want that, and how important is that to you, and how hard is that to achieve?
It's really important to me, to us. I really think if you want to win it all, you have to be able to do that. There's exceptions to that, like there is everything, but I think the best teams can win both ways, and then the third way is just with a dominant defensive performance. So offensively, though, when you can win like we did this past week, that's a statement. I just think that's a statement. There's not many teams in the NFL I don't think can win a game like in that fashion. So that's a carrying card, if you will, or whatever the right way to say that is. But if that's all you have, it's not as good as Jonathan Taylor is. If that's all we got, I mean, it's probably not going to be enough. It's just not the way this game is. You have to be able to make plays in the passing game, and thankfully, got a lot of confidence in our guys there, in our quarterback, and in our our skill guys. So, this will likely be a week that we have to do both. This is the #1 run defense. We're certainly not planning on abandoning the run, but we also understand that it's probably, at the end of the day, will be a more balanced game than it was last week.